What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a POV video in which we'll talk about the ride quality, the comfort quality, the road noise, how the Accord handles. And if you're in the market for a new mid-sized car and you're comparing the Accord to a Camry, to a K5, to a Sonata, you haven't test driven any, I suggest you go test drive all. They're all great cars. It is, at the end of the day, your money, your decision, so you should take the best decision. Point of showing this is one on request, because I had a lot of comments in the section below of my first video that people wanted to see the POV of the car, and then the fact that if someone is in the market to buy one of these cars, should they still go for an Accord if that's the case, right? So the idea here is I'm not advocating for an Accord, but I'm just showcasing things that, hey, should you go for one or should you not go for one? I've bought it. So do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. But if you're in the market to buy something, you should make an informed decision, because that is your right as a consumer. Taking off, I think overall impression, when I talk about how this handles compared to my previous Accord or how it handles in general for the segment it belongs to, I think it handles pretty well. And the reason I say that is because when you go for an Accord, you don't really think of, is it going to handle super well? It's not known for that, but if it's doing it in a nice way where you can notice it, that simply means that you're getting a little more bang for your buck there, right? Because the Accord, no one really thinks of handling or performance or the joltiness or anything of that sort. It simply is because you want a reliable car. It's also giving you a bunch of things that feel nice, look nice. When you drive, you don't feel like you're not driving a nice car. You're definitely driving a really nice car. And plus, these days, the price point, even as, you know, a normal consumer, $50,000 just seemed like, oh God, it's a new car and it's only $50,000. $50,000 is a lot of money. But now we've attached the prefix of only when it comes to cars, because the cars just are expensive. Anyways, going back to the comfort and the ride quality of the Accord. We're riding at 235 40 R19s here, wrapped in Michelin rubber there, so the ride quality of the car just in general is pretty good. The road noise is close to none. The engine noise, yeah, it does kick in. Sometimes it's creepy quiet, but sometimes it is super loud, which makes you think, wait, is this a hybrid? Is this how it's supposed to be? Or is this just a me problem? So it's not a me problem, that's how the car is. The hybrid trims, as you know, that in the Accord lineup currently, you have hybrids that start from Sport, and in the Touring, the LX and the EX are your non-hybrid trim levels, right? So if you go for a hybrid, no matter what trim you go with, you're going to get the same driving dynamics. And they're pretty nice. But again, like I said, if you want fun out of your car, and when you're buying a car, you have a word fun in the checklist, I wouldn't say you go with a mainstream car, right? Then you would choose a car that is actually known for fun, which brings me to a point that all these mainstream cars, your Accords, your Camrys, your Sonatas, your K5s, things like that, unless they have that extra jolt in them that they're advertising for, you're really not going to get too much fun out of the car, because the car takes and keeps control. By that, I simply mean they're engineered to take control from the driver in a way where they give you that reliability, the safety, and all that, and the cars are just simply in control, as opposed to you trying to do the fun things with it, and it lets you. If that is on the bucket list for you when you're going for a new car, you're definitely going to want to go for something that is either German or something that is either American that allows you to do that, because those cars, like BMW advertises itself, ultimate driving machine. And that's true, because you can have a lot of fun with the car and the car lets you. But if you go with any of these Japanese or Korean ones, even if you go with a luxury segment, so for example, Lexus, Acura, Genesis, all these cars, even if they're rear wheel and stuff like that, to an extent you can have fun with these cars, but not just how you would with German cars, right? Coming back to the Accord. Comfort, a lot. So for what it is, how it feels, not just for the driver, but also for your passengers. You can take longer road trips, you can be a solo driver, and you won't be tired driving this, right? It's got enough tech for you to stay busy when you're stuck in traffic. It's got enough comfort level for yourself and your passengers when you take long road trips. So it's a pretty solid car for what it is, right? Because at the end of the day, you went to, or you will go to buy an Accord for an Accord, not because you want a fun car. But from where it was to now where it is, it's giving a lot to its consumers. So if someone has the impression of Accord being, just a mainstream car, sure, it is. It's kept that definition, but it's given, and it's constantly giving, a lot more to its consumer than they would expect. Which is why I say, if an Accord was never in your consideration, or if a Camry was never in your consideration, you should definitely go check them out, because they're giving you a lot of options that you never thought. Because when you think of these names, you're like, oh, they're just basic, boring cars. Actually, they're not. I'm speaking from an experience of driving an Accord for 8 years, and then still buying another one after skipping a generation. I think the best generation of the Accords definitely was 10th when it comes to the offerings of the engine, especially being the 2.0 turbo that was 10-speed automatic that gave you about 250 horsepower. Pretty solid engine, right? And I'm pretty sure that people that drive that may not like coming back to a CVT if they had a 9th gen and they moved up to the 10th, right? But for what this is, I bought it as my daily car. I bought it as a reliable car. I also bought it with tech it's giving me, which was, of course, an upgrade from what I had in my previous Accord. Am I a happy consumer? Absolutely. Do I regret my decision? Not even once. I have had people comment saying that, a Kia K5 GT would have been a better option. I am pretty sure it would have been, right? But I wasn't looking for all those things that the K5 GT perhaps is giving me. So my decision was based on a few things, and the reliability aspect was part of it. The biggest part of it was that, and the fact that I don't have to stress on maintaining the car. I just do my regular maintenance, which includes the oil change, my wear and tear, and then the car keeps going. It's not like a plastic fantastic type of a thing, or it's not like, just where I would break my bank. The Accord, the Camrys are like belly buttons, right? Everybody has one. But then, now we see BMWs becoming or taking over that because they've improved their reliability with what they're offering. But at the end of the day, it still is a car that does ask for a good amount of maintenance, especially when it's out of warranty, right? But it gives you fun. Here, it takes away some of the fun, but it gives you a lot more other things that are important in life too, such as less stress. So overall impression of how the Accord handles, yeah, it handles as good as an Accord should and more, simply because you're getting that as an added feature, I would say. And the reason I'm calling it as a feature is because you don't think of great handling when you think of cars in this segment. But if it's giving you that, and you can notice it, like I said before, yeah, it's a plus. Same idea applies to the comfort. They've gotten a lot comfortable for the riders and for the driver, all. The third aspect, it is a long car. So you have to keep that in consideration when you are, making those U-turns, when you're making those three-pointers, things like that. So that also comes into play. But at 196, with the length it is at, yeah, it's a long car. So, you got to keep that in consideration too. A few things that could have been changed there is if they were to not give a CVT, especially in the touring models or sports, a 10-speed automatic would have been nice, but then who would buy the Acuras if they were to give everything in the Accord? And as we know from the history of Acura, you see a lot more Lexuses on the road than you see Acuras, at least here in North America, including both US and Canada. Not 100% sure about Mexico. I've never been. So overall speaking, am I happy with my purchase? Absolutely. Do I recommend the Accord? If you think like me and we're talking about the same idea, sure. But if you want a little more things, a little more option, maybe a little more double the bang for your buck kind of a thing, then yeah, maybe you should look into the Kia K5 GT for the same price point. You should look at the Hyundai Sonata, the N-Line. You should wait for the 2025 Camry redesign just to see what they come with. But if you want a V6, then XSE still offers you that. Right now, I just floored in normal mode. I'm going to switch to a sport mode there. Yes, it picks up. I could feel the nose going up, but at the same time, I can also hear the car growl, which reminds me constantly that this is an Accord. I should not be doing what I tried doing because it doesn't sound pleasant. It sounds that it's a reminder that you bought the wrong car for the thing that you're trying to do with it, right? So keeping all that in mind, make your decision the best possible way. Like I said before, it's your money. You decide what you want, but you will still love the Accord. If you're driving any of the previous Accords, with the exception that I keep bringing up of the 10th gen 2.0 turbo, I think you'll notice this be complete different car in terms of the way it picks up, in terms of the way it handles, the ride quality, the comfort quality, the road noise elimination, and the fact that being a hybrid, because one motor puts the power to the ground, the other one propels you, and then you have the engine that kicks in, it does make a difference. For me, it does. I'm coming from a straight inline 4 2.4 liter engine that was simply a CVT. It was more rubber bandy, wouldn't go as quicker as this one does. So I'm definitely someone that enjoys my ride with this. If I had $45,000 again, would I buy this car? All things considered, and what went into my decision making for not just, hey, I want a new car and I think this is the best car. No, I don't think this is the best car. I'm pretty sure there are so many other cars that, you know, would supersede this. But with the decisions and the factors that went into my decision, would I go for the other Accord? Yes, my decision would still be a yes, but you decide, and you let me know if there are any questions that you folks have that you want to validate about the Accord. I'm happy to do that video for you folks, because you haven't bought a car yet and you're wanting to, then yeah, I'd be happy to help anybody that is, you know, wanting to know something about it that a dealer otherwise wouldn't tell you. I'm very happy to tell you, be it good, bad, or the ugly. Just let me know. I hope this video was somewhat helpful for those that are either just, you know, wanting to know more about the Accord, or you're in the market to buy a new car in this segment. I will come back with another video. I will come back with more reviews for everybody. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for all the love, comments, communication, the engagement. Greatly appreciate that. The weather has been not in my favor lately with the winds and the rain, so I haven't been able to record as many reviews to post, but I will continue to bring some as weather permits, which my plan is to record a couple of videos tomorrow, and then I'll definitely drop them as I record them. So stay tuned, stay watching, stay subscribing, stay engaging. Let me know anything in the comments below, how you guys feel, good, bad, otherwise. But until then, take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.